Yeah, I don't know. I told you we got to replace this mic. This thing sucks. Well, I called my mom again, and apparently the ant trap situation was going on for a while. So most people take ant traps and they put them down when they have ants and they're dead. She calls me up. She says they're not working. She's going to try a different brand of ant traps. Then she's asking me where to put them specifically to make sure. She wanted to make sure she's luring them in to die, I guess, but there weren't any stragglers. But then she says she's not seeing ants in the morning, but later on she found like one dead ant. So instead of like putting more traps down or anything, she's doing kind of an investigation. I think she's looking in to see how it died. She's asking about the cause of death of the ant, if it was from the trap, it was from something else. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not like a bug detective, so I don't really know. Steve Wonder here from GetRubix.com, and today we're going to keep talking about application packaging and Intune, specifically how we can best update third-party apps without using, we've talked about the automation tools like Patch My PC, RoboPack, Chocolatey, but we're just going to talk about, more about the challenges and some things you can do with just the basic packaging. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna know how this ant died. Is this, I don't. Do normal people behave like this?
Get Rubix, solving for the modern workplace.
Okay, so we've covered quite a bit with application packaging, right? We talked about EXEs and detection rules and multi-file MSI installations. And recently I've been getting questions about how to update apps only if they need an upgrade, right, based on their version. So for example, let's say I have, I don't know, Google Chrome. That's always a good one to pick at, right? You can see I have a bunch of different versions. I have 126, 0476862, 115. I have a really old one. But why don't we grab the latest version, right? Why don't we package that and apply it to everything that's not that? Honestly, I mean, that probably makes the most sense. But I guess the question would be, how do we know on the device if it's already there, right? So there are a few things you can do. So if you just have one version of the app and you want to just update that, when you go to package the app, Intune has a feature called Supersedence. So what Supersedence allows us to do is pick the app it's going to supersede. It's named appropriately. So I would click Add, and I would essentially just select my older version of it, right? So that everything that has that app, I would uninstall the previous version and install the new one. Okay, so that is one option to do it, but the problem is, as you can tell, is we have a lot of Google Chromes here. So that's going to be a little tricky to go through and, supersede everything. So what would make more sense if we knew what was on the device? Now this is where applicability rules come in. Applicability rules are like detection rules on an app, but we have a few different methods we can use, right? We can run a PowerShell script to kind of see if we want to install the app based on a value we return. We can look in the registry. We can look at a specific file. There's a few things. So I'm going to show you each one, and this way you'll be able to decide what you want to do. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is download the newer version of Chrome. And you notice here the version is 128.0.6613.114. So all my other versions are below that. They're all in the 6.4 range. So this is definitely an upgrade. So I'm going to download it, go ahead and build my package, and we're going to create a new app. All right, so I'm going to click Add, and we're going to go ahead and do Windows App Win32, select package file, and I'm going to navigate to where I just made the app. So I have my Win32 folder, I have Google Chrome, and I just created this. So app version 70.117.16498. I don't know why it comes out to that as opposed to the version that it said on the site. Well, you know what? The good news is we can test this in Sandbox if we're not sure. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to use the Run-in-Sandbox win in Sandbox. And we're going to put our install command. We're going to run the same command Intune would have grabbed. Oh, let's put Google. So I'm just going to grab this and put it in here. And now let's watch the sandbox install and we'll check the version. Alright, so Chrome installed in my sandbox, and I want to get the version of it. So this is actually... So let me go ahead and open it up and see what version we're at here. I'm not going to sign in. I just want to use Chrome. I wish all apps would stop asking me stuff. That is starting to get annoying. Version. Yep, 128.661.114. Okay, so I'm not really sure why the Intune build version there is different, but that's not what we're gonna... It's not what it's gonna look for anyway. We're gonna be looking for this, so I'll close that. So, okay, so we have our app. We've uploaded to Intune, and now we're gonna look at requirements. So, like with any requirements, right, you choose your OS architecture, you choose your Windows version. We're going to leave it at 22H2. But notice here, when we get down to additional requirements, this looks like the detection rules. So we can do file, registry, script. So I'm going to take you through all three. We'll start with file, right? So if I open the sandbox, and I'm going to kind of trace my steps here, we're going to look at open file location. All right, so Chrome, application. If we go to properties, okay, and we go to details, we can see the file version. So if we wanted to, we can just use this path, right? And come in here and say the path is there. The file or folder is Chrome exe, right? And the version property is the string version has to not equal, or you can say less than, if it's less than our new version. And remember, our new version is that number, 128. Put that here. So now it's only, I could even set this to all devices, right? It's only going to install if it finds Chrome with a version that is less than what we want. So that would be a file requirement rule. But let's actually scrap that, and let's look at some of our other options. Our other options would be the registry. Well, what do we do there? So back to my sandbox. If I want to open the registry, we can make this a little bigger. I'm going to go to HK local machine, software, Microsoft. We're going to go to Windows, current version. And we're going to go to the uninstall key. So uninstall, and there's a lot of different values here. So you might have to search through some of these GUIDs to find Google Chrome. And there we go. Look at that display version. So we would actually be looking for this path here. So let me minimize this. So my path would be HKLM, software, Microsoft Windows. My value name would be display version. Display version. And the registry key requirement would have to be an integer comparison. So if it is less than, there we go. If it's less than that. So same thing with the registry, right? All right, finally, we're going to talk about how to do this with a PowerShell script. Okay, so to use PowerShell to get the app version, let me go ahead and open up PowerShell here. Why is this so wide? It doesn't need to be that big. Okay, so I'll make this a little bigger. You can do get sim instance class name Win32 product. And just by running that command, it's going to show you your installed applications and information about them, the vendor, the version, things like that. So you can see here, we can see it right there, Google Chrome. Well, let's just pull out Google Chrome and just take a look at that. We don't have to look at all this. So let's do where objects, I think it's display name, is equal to Google Chrome. This way we'll just pull Chrome out. Did I miss that? Oh, it's name, not display name. Happy little accidents. That's some more Bob Ross. All right, so now that we just pulled Chrome out, we can see we have a bunch of stuff here, one of which is the versioning. Now, I did this on this system, not the sandbox, close the sandbox, but either way, you can get the version. So we can say if we wanted Chrome version, we would basically say get sim instance, class name, Win32 product. Where's product? There it is. Where object name is equal to Google Chrome. And we just want the version. So we're going to do select object, expand property, version. And that should just give us that versioning there. If we just do Chrome version, we get the number we want. So that means we would basically grab our string, and if it's not equal to the version we want, because that's what that is, right? That should be a string. Let's take a look here. Chrome version get type. Yeah, it's a string. So if the string isn't equal to what we want, then we install it. So how do we write that script? Well, let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, we'll make that a little bigger. Okay, so this shouldn't take too long. So what we'll do is we'll say Chrome version equals get sim instance. Yep. Class name Win32 products, where object name is equal to Google Chrome. Select object, expand property, version. Okay, and then we can simply write output Chrome version. And that's really all we have to do if we want to use the script to get it, right? So we have the script. We go back to Intune. We'll say Chrome requirement. Script file. We're going to go to the desktop, Chrome requirement scripts. There we go. Logged on credentials, no. Enforce signature check, no. String is not equal to, and this will be our new value. So if the string is not equal to that, it's going to go ahead and install it. So that's a simple way to kind of understand how to use requirements to update applications without having to go through and figure out who has what. And you'll be able to report on it. Devices that weren't updated will just say not applicable, right? So I think it's important. And then, of course, if they run again, they're going to have it, so they'll bounce out anyway. So it's important to kind of understand how to do that. Obviously, when we start talking about, because I know there's going to be a bunch of folks saying, oh, there's easier ways to automate this, and we can, deploy this and remediations to all devices. Understood, right? There are ways to automate this at scale using other tools, like I said, RoboPack, Patch My PC, Chocolatey, Winget. But as far as how the mechanics of it work, right? Because oftentimes, maybe folks don't have that many apps, or they just want to understand how to make it work with a single package. So for whatever reason, those are going to be your options there. Let me know your thoughts in the Discord, and we'll be seeing you.